Kia ora, and welcome to Neat and Not by the Sea, Flosstube video number
55.
55. She just told me and I forgot. I wasn't listening. It is Saturday the 5th of August and we are filming. Oh, my name's Victoria. Hi.
Kia ora, my name is Catherine. My pronouns are she, her, and we're filming a couple of days late, because life.
Because life. Yeah.
In my house, which is, we haven't done for a little while.
No,
so
Catherine fed me. It was amazing.
Yes. If you ever, what do I cook for people that looks like I've made an effort? Thai green curry.
It's very good.
Yeah. It's great. So yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
Okay.
So it's been 2.5 weeks. Because we're a couple of days late. Chats, what have you been up to in the last 2 weeks? And a half weeks?
I'm mostly exhausted from work. But the big, difficult, hard work thing. Oh my god, look at this curl. It's amazing.
You have got some amazing curls going on at the moment.
I may have had a shower today.
Oh, you're clean.
Yeah, I have a shower and my hair looks great for 2 days and then it's like but it's a great curl. Yes, so what has been happening? Life, just trugging along, working. It's been hard, it's been difficult. But things have settled now for work, so that's really good. I've been busy knitting for my friend. I caught up with a friend and I had dinner and that was really lovely.
How do you have friends that aren't me?
I know, I'm sorry. I did talk to a friend about this. She doesn't watch the Flosstube. And I once offered to do something for this friend and her other friend got really jealous and she metaphorically elbowed me out of the way and made the thing for my friend.
Wow. Well, there's one less thing you have to make.
Well, no, but it was supposed to be an exchange. She was doing something for me and I said, oh, what can I do for you to say thanks? And anyway, it was there was no poker face about it. She was just like, you will not steal my friend. Yeah, you know, funny. My girls, it's mostly about my girls. My girls are doing really well. Christina's coming home soon. In a couple of weeks, she's cut her trip short a little bit. So she'll be home a month earlier than anticipated. She's quite homesick. And as she said, it will have been 3 months by the time she's home. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
And I didn't want to say that to her. They'll watch this in like 30 years' time, so it doesn't matter. I've missed them so much, both of them. It's been really hard. There's something, like the physics of it, it's just so hard because, you know, like I was talking to my friend who has a child the same age as my youngest, and she was saying, if they need you and they're in Wellington, you can be with them definitely by the day after.
Yeah.
If they need you and they're in Europe,
it's a little bit more complicated.
It's going to take you at least 3 days.
Yeah.
And so there was so anyway, they're having a great time, both of them. They've both gone to see, well, one has definitely gone to see the Barbie movie, so that was kind of strange. But the other one's going as well with some friends if she hasn't been already. So yeah, that's kind of been a bit strange. But you know, she's had fun and she's having a good time. And she's with my sister, which just makes me so happy. But yeah, I've been doing that, doing a bit of reading. My reading group happened.
Oh, excellent.
So that was really great. We had read Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver, and that was a very hard book to read, and I didn't finish it because life is hard enough without reading that relentlessly sad, difficult book, however well it was written.
Will you finish it, do you think, or have you just...
I've thought about it, but every time I pick it up, I now know that it has a kind of okay ending, but the dreadfulness was unrelenting, and I think especially because my girls are away. And also, I have been a foster parent. I know how awful it is for foster children, and I was just like, I just don't need this. So I pick it up and I'm like, oh, now that I know everything's okay, nah. So I'm just gonna return it to the library.
Yeah, cool.
So, oh, I've got a podcast recommendation, but anyway, have you got a pen? So that I can write down podcast recommendation. Yeah, what about you? Oh, look, lots of colours.
Fancy pens. So last week was crazy busy with work, so I have not done any stitching since last Saturday.
That's why she ditched me.
Yeah, that's why we're a couple of days late. Excuse me.
Oh, dear.
Excuse me. Otherwise, things are going well. I hemmed a net curtain last weekend, which took an obscene amount of time, which is why I'm telling everybody.
It's kind of craft adjacent.
Oh, I had to do a blanket stitch right along the bottom.
Oh.
Because, you know, roll it up and blanket stitch it. 6 hours it took me to do 2.5 metres worth of net.
You roll it up in blanket stitch?
Yep, I should have cut from the top and then just stitched a new thing of the gathering thing along the top. But no, Tori wasn't thinking and she cut from the bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, she did it the wrong way around. Live and learn.
Yeah. You'll never notice it.
No.
Once it's up, and it is up.
Oh, it
already,
looks great.
isn't
I did a beautiful job. It took 6 hours.
A bit too modest.
Beautiful, and it's not even, but yeah. No, you can't see the bottom of it because the window's too high.
Okay, great. Woo.
Boo. But that's done, so it's a job off the list.
You've been a bit social as well.
I have been social. I've caught up with some old friends. Caught up with family. My brother and his partner were down for a day. I caught up with them. So it's good. Life's just trucking along. When the days are getting brighter for longer, which I'm appreciating. It's much better.
There's actually light when I catch the bus in the morning.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to say, I had people over for lunch today. My old boss, so she's not my boss now, so I kind of feel a bit more comfortable about inviting her over, and she's so lovely. And 2 colleagues. One of my colleagues wanted to know about living in a small house like this. And they said all the right things, and they loved the house. Even my boss, who's very bougie, and I was a little bit apprehensive. I was like, oh, she's bougie. But I loved my house. It was great. And we just had such a lovely, slow lunch. Just lots of chatting. It's almost like we were continental people, like, you know.
Nice.
I had a little bit of wine, rosé.
No, that sounds like you.
I know, I don't drink, but I was like this much. So yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll become a sociable person.
Oh.
Because I really enjoyed it.
Maybe you become a wino.
I was mostly about my instant coffee. Great. Okay, so it feels like we've probably done more, but we maybe haven't.
No.
Or maybe we can say this in chit chat.
All right. Yeah, cover those off.
Nithya, who is hilarious. Nithya, I'm talking about you. So you probably know Nithya. She has the floss tube called Daybreak Stitchery. And she messaged me saying that she was watching one of the football matches for FIFA that was taking place in Dunedin. And she said, are you there? I was like, you're too funny.
Did you know it was on? No.
I didn't know it was on. The Martin was there. I was like, no, you can't make me go to any sporting event.
Yeah, I cracked up when I heard that.
Yeah, I've passed the age where I pretend.
Like too cold to be in a stadium.
No, I'm just not interested. Yay, women that want to do sport, but
yeah.
Nah, not bothered. Not bothered.
It was a great coup for New Zealand to host with Australia, so yeah.
Yeah, really great. And I think it's fantastic that women are inspiring women. And I reposted something on Instagram about the Brazilian player who's scored the most goals. And she was talking about how when she was younger and she wanted to play football, she didn't have a role model. And now there are so many role models for women. So, and she was crying, and she was like, oh, I have enough of a reputation for crying at everything, and now I'm crying again. all of this in beautiful Brazilian Portuguese. So beautiful. So anyway.
Nice.
So all good.
All good.
Did Minty go?
Do anything? No.
No?
No.
You don't want to inspire her into sport?
Well, I wouldn't take her because it's sport.
Because Martin took his grandchildren, because initially he was going to take his granddaughter, and I said, excuse me, I think you have to take your grandson as well, so he knows that women can play sport. And he was like, oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, I am scheduled to take my niece to the Barbie movie though, so I am covering that. We haven't gone yet because it's been sold out both weekends, so we've gone.
Okay. Can you pre-book?
Yes, you can, but you have to be organised for that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Plus, I'm quite happy to go to a less packed out theatre.
Oh, yeah. Although, it is quite a novel experience in Dunedin to go to the cinema and it's full.
Maybe for you, because you go to, like...
I only go to Art House films.
Art House, but, you know, Avengers fan, Star Wars fan, Matrix fan. I've been to many a packed theatre.
Oh, no. Normally, when I go to the cinema, there's one other couple.
Lord of the Rings. When Lord of the Rings came out, I was the one that made my family go like 3 hours before because you could get to the front of the queue, because in that particular theatre, which had the biggest screen in town, they don't assign seating. It's just first in, first served. I'm the best.
We're such different beasts.
It's great.
Why are we talking about sport?
Oh,
Anyway,
no.
because I thought it was funny. Nithya, you were adorable.
But no, we did not go to this. Well,
No,
Catherine did
no,
not
I did not go to any. Thank God. Thank God nobody was making me. Yeah, because we're not in the like the beginning of a relationship where you have to impress your partner. It's like,
pretend
no.
pretend to have the same interests.
Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to mention as well, when I talked about, I feel a bit bad about this. So I talked about my second-hand swimsuit, and I kind of made light of it, and it was a big joke. And I had a great response from Leslie. Thank you, Leslie. You were amazing. Nobody thinks twice about going to a restaurant and eating off second-hand cutlery and crockery. I thought that was genius. You're so right.
It's a very good analogy.
Yeah, but I also felt bad because I was making light of it, and some people can't afford to not buy second-hand, and so I kind of felt a bit embarrassed about my attitude. So
Yeah.
and it was just in jest, like
As we were just doing.
we were jesting. I'm very pro second-hand shopping, and I respect people that don't want it, but I also think second-hand shopping is the way forward. And for some people, it's not a choice. They have to have second-hand clothing. So, but very impressed with you, Leslie. I love that analogy. And I also wanted to talk about. Can I do my rec now?
Yeah, do it. Let's just do it, or we're just mixing it up today.
Yeah. So
We haven't got that much to show.
if you follow me on Instagram, which is nzcat26, and what's your Instagram?
Port Tory 13.
I reposted a thing from Jane Goodall, and she was saying there's a search engine called Ecosia, Ecosia, E-C-O-S-I-A. It's a search engine. If you use that search engine for searching, every time you do it, they plant a tree. So that seems like a win-win. And I really like the look of their page.
Well, I'll have to check
It's
it
very
out.
clean.
Nice.
And there's a lot of green, and it's very clean. You don't get a kajabillion results. You just get the ones you need. It's great. Loved it. It's probably because it's building up the algorithm of what I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked it. So if you're into the environment and you want to help and see what we can do as individuals,
If you're
that
just looking
seems
for
like
an
an effortless thing.
alternative from Google.
Yeah, it's just a very low effort thing to do. So that was the other one. And I've got a podcast recommendation, which is called Writer and Company. So if we have any Canadian watchers, this is a Canadian podcast. It's it's like the cinema thing. I go to art house movies, and this is a literary podcast. Unfortunately, I've discovered as the woman that runs it, whose name I should know, but I mean, if you're Canadian, you'll know who she is. Oh no, it doesn't have her name. Anyway, it's called Writers and Company. Anyway, she's just retired, but she's got all her back catalogue, so I'm listening. And there've been some amazing interviews with poets and writers, people I didn't know. Like, for example, did you ever read and watch A Suitable Boy? So it's on Netflix, amazing series, but also it was a book, it was this thick. It took the world by storm. I think you probably were a bit young.
I'm
maybe.
saying it's not one I'm familiar with.
So
I'll
it would have been
definitely
when I
hunt
was
it
in
out.
my early 20s. Anyway, the writer, I always thought he was called Vikram Seth. He's not. He's called Vikram Set. It's TH, but it's pronounced Set. So that was amazing. And Michael Ondatye, Sri Lankan Canadian author. I love his work. He did a great interview. So it's just amazing. Anyway, I'll stop. Writers and Company.
Excellent. That's me. That's because I'm going
you
to
for
forget
later.
what
Okay,
it is. Yeah.
Okay, cool, great. That's the
I'll take my
chit-chat
pen
and
back
the-
too because
I don't want to steal it.
I don't want to have to throw out the whole set because you took one.
Ooh, the temptation to take one out now.
Oh, don't mess with me. It's so stressful when I lose something from a set because I'm like, well, I have to replace the whole set because you can't just buy it individually.
So what do you do with the other stuff?
I chuck it. Well, I don't chuck it. I give it to my niece and nephew and my sisters. People who don't care or have standards. You need a complete set.
It is terrible.
This will come back up later.
That's right, the sets. Yeah. Okay, cool. So,
Should we
any
start?
finished objects?
No, yourself?
No. So nothing fully finished. Well, I have my shawl. I made a shawl for my friend, and I've given it.
You gave it away before you could show it, so I
Yes.
think that's.
But it is on
black mark
Instagram.
you.
Yeah, sorry. I prioritize my friend. over the podcast, over the
That's
philosophy.
really selfish.
I know, a little bit, sorry. It was amazing. Go to my Instagram. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I didn't see it finished because you gave it away, but I saw it on Instagram and it's beautiful.
Yeah, very pleased. So just progress then.
Progress. All right, I'll start. So everyone familiar with this piece? This is a peacock, a unicorn, and a badger. I want to say this is my working copy. I do have an official copy of the pattern which I photocopied, but I don't work from my originals, which is why it's a ring binder.
Are you like staving off judgment?
Yeah. I paid the pretty penny for this one.
Oh
It's great.
yeah, oh yeah. The ice
Fully
melting.
worth it. Absolutely worth it.
And you're not
Barbie
like
and
me.
Star Wars.
You don't just get rid of your patterns.
No, I keep
after.
them.
I don't keep my patterns.
I've got to keep the set.
I give them to you, or I give them away.
But what happens if one day I want to redo it, or it gets damaged and I want to redo it? It has never happened yet, but one day it might.
You're well prepared for that.
I am well prepared. I've got them stored beautifully. So I have basically, all I've done since I saw you guys last is the green fill in this sort of area here.
I'm worrying that it's actually not light enough, Victoria.
I think it's alright. I think it just looks a bit dark because we're looking into the ring light.
Ah, maybe.
The colours on the screen seem to be alright.
Okay, cool.
If this is too dark, can you let us know?
For next time.
For next time, we have a lot of technical issues, as you know. But it's looking good. I love this one.
Oh,
I'm really
it's just
enjoying doing the
beautiful.
green because I don't have to get the pattern out. I just get the thread and a needle and a hoop and I'm done.
So you're being good about the green.
I am being good and not leaving it all to last because I know eventually it'll get annoying, but
Nice.
currently it's lovely.
Who designed that one?
That is a Scarlet Letter.
Yes.
I can't from a quick look see who actually did the actual designing.
But it's a Scarlet Letter. We'll be able
It's
to
a
find
Scarlet
it.
Letter.
And you've got another one of those, haven't you?
Wait until
Oh.
the I'm not a shopper but section.
This is what happens. This is what happens when I don't see Victoria for long.
I know.
She has lots of purchases. Okay, I've only made progress. See, this is relatable.
Yeah.
Relates to a conversation we were having.
Which we
earlier.
will have. Yeah.
We'll have it later, but isn't this beautiful?
So do you want to say what this is?
Yes.
No, what this is.
Oh, so this is a cushion cover
That
that I found
repurposed.
in one of the op shops, and I've repurposed it as a project bag. But that's
Beautiful.
because I have too many cushion covers. I don't need another one. And also I didn't want to not buy it because it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, so this project is His Eye is on the Sparrow by Beth Twist. And the company is called Heartstring Samplery. And you know that I love her designs. I haven't shown this one for ages because we talked about the boobs, how I was going to make the boobs 3D. I still haven't. I tried to do it yesterday, but I didn't have any brown in my bag, and I was like, I'm not getting up. I thought about it, because I still want them to be 3D. So what I have managed to do is I did the whole bird. This whole bird is
love
done.
the colours.
So made up colours is not, I'm not following the colour chart, but it's now making me think that this bird is incomplete. I don't remember that. Can you, is your eyesight good? No, yeah, I've seen it. It has got as many as the other side.
It is. They're a mirrored version of each other.
So it's missing a few. So I will do that. I love this. So what I've decided is that
It's looking fab.
I'm only going to work on 2 of my projects for the next fortnight of cross stitch, because I really want to finish. My goal is to finish this top area by next
Good job. Yeah, and it looks doable too.
It does. I don't think it's a lot.
Absolutely achievable.
Especially because I'm just going to do 2 patterns. I love it. I just love the amount of
gorgeous.
colours and the vibrancy. I think it's very beautiful. I think Beth Twist is a very clever woman.
Love her stuff.
I know, it's gorgeous.
Very much looking forward to getting those patterns when Catherine's finished with them. Just quietly.
What did you say? Very looking forward to continuing with this. That's the extent of my cross stitch.
Oh, well, I have
this
done
week.
slightly better than that. So, but I haven't really done any new stuff. This is Barbara Anna Designs, Sailing Dreams. Can't exactly remember how much I showed you last time, but I think what I have done... Oh, if that thing's falling. I haven't stitched it all in the last week, so I'm just trying to remember from a week ago, which is a little bit too much for me. think I've done more of the hair and I've gone up, which is a bit hard to see on the screen fabric.
Gosh, these patterns are so lovely.
I do love these. I'm going to do the Frida Kahlo one next, I think. It's beautiful. Anyway, that's how that's going.
Now be careful. Is that going to be any higher? Is that design going to be beyond this spot? 'Cause you might end up, no, you're going to end up
I'm going to
with
with
a
a fold.
crease.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's all just DMC, so I'll just wash it in the end and
Yeah, I know, but even so,
stop.
yeah, just fold it on a different bit. I was being a bit mumsy there.
No, it's a good point. Because, yeah, mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just keep going with my cross stitch?
Yes, because I just have, oh yeah, I do have a finish, but it's yeah, continue with your cross stitch.
Okay, so I have signed up to do Through Stitch Witches.
Oh, is this purchases now?
No, this is a new start.
Oh, you started, okay, great.
But a pattern that you guys haven't seen before. Okay. So I've signed up, so it's a bit of both. I've signed up with Stitch Witches to do the Anniversaries of the Heart Boom. I'm not quite sure what the boom stands for.
Block of the
B-O-M.
month.
Ah, now I know what it stands for.
Well, in quilting is block of the month.
Yeah, that would make absolutely sense. So there's...
Are you making a quilt?
No. So you may recall a while ago back in... Oh, shiver me timbers. Back,
You want me to hold this? Let me hold them.
Oh, so good. It was just that one that fell out I wasn't expecting. I did this ages ago. This is Blackbird Designs Pumpkin Farm. And what this is Anniversaries of the Heart pattern number 10. Now, it was very unlike me not to have 1 through 12 done, ordered and done as well. But I managed to move on. But then the opportunity came up to do it as a block of the month. So every month they are giving us a new pattern and the threads and whatever you need them in.
Is it DMC threads?
No, I'm doing the overdyed ones. Please.
Ka-ching!
I already started doing that one overdyed, so I
No,
have to
hadn't you
continue
done
on.
one of them?
Yes, I've done this one.
So what's going to happen in it? Are you still going to get that one?
Yes, but well, eventually, because I've signed up for the 12th thing. I thought we'd just give it away as a giveaway at some stage when it comes
okay.
through. So this is the finished project.
So is the idea that you're going to do it all in one large piece?
So a lot of people are, but because I had already done one as an individual, I'm doing all mine as an individual.
And also cheaper framing if it's
Exactly,
a small frame.
because I can just steal the frames from my mum. She's got a whole pile of family. She took all the family photos off the wall, so now she's got boxes of frames.
Yeah, we all get to that point.
Anyway, so that's the one I've already done.
So now you know you've learned something. BOM.
Yeah. So, because this is Anniversaries of the Heart Volume 1, called Snow Garden, and I've started it.
Woo!
But I tell you what, the thread colours don't, I mean, this is overdyed thread, so absolutely understandable.
And also with time, they change.
Yeah, the colours
Let
are
me hold them for
completely
you.
different. So the bird is quite blue on this, and mine's quite brown.
Now, when you say that you've signed up with them, is that, do you turn up for an evening and stitch there as well?
You don't have to, but I do, because I had a regular monthly stitching thing there, so that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so they're not having a specific night for this?
No,
Oh,
you can sign up and do this from home, and they just send you whatever you want and you need.
Cool.
So I'm really enjoying that. That was one day. That was my Saturday last weekend. It was the last time I stitched before I got to your house.
Nice.
So it's quite cool. It's really pretty. Loving it. The colours are great. They're just very different from the cover.
Yeah. I think that's what happens. Like if you buy your threads, I mean, this would have been published a couple of years ago.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Because it was one of your early ones. So the threads at that time will be quite different.
2010.
Yes, and so one of the things that apparently happens is that the chemicals they use for dyeing, they can change over time.
Yeah. So I'm doing the overdyed threads, but they're all the called for ones, and I know that they change.
But this was because a few people talk about this on floss tubes.
Yeah.
That and sometimes floss dyers will say, by the way, the company that supplies the chemicals, they have told us that they're
It's
now
changed, yeah.
They've now changed. Like the formula has changed, or the supplier has changed for the chemicals themselves,
Yeah.
and it's now looking different.
Yeah. I'm not worried. It looks great. It was just,
You followed the rules.
I followed the rules and it didn't turn out like the cover.
Yeah, you wouldn't like it if you changed the rules, but you followed the rules, so that's okay.
And I'm not quite sure why, but we got the first 2 months together.
There might have been a delay initially.
It could well have been. So this is Valentine Rose, which is Anniversaries of the Heart pattern number 2, which is great. So this is a new start. So I got to write it in my book.
Great.
So that's it. The rest of it is shopping.
Okay, we'll do shopping after at the end.
Yep. Oh, so we'll go back to why. Was there something you want to talk to?
No, I'm waiting.
Why we were pointing out Catherine's cushion cover. I am currently not liking the way I'm storing my projects, which is everything goes in one tote bag.
This is our background.
Yeah. Usually I've got each pattern in a different clear pocket, but I'm really not liking it. I don't know if I want to go down the project bag route like a lot of crafts do. So I was looking at what are easy alternatives. So cushion cover already comes with a built-in zip. Tote bags, put a zip along the top.
But just be careful when you're ordering your cushion covers, because you think you're going to order them online, that sometimes they have a pocket, like an overlapping.
In the middle.
Yeah, you don't want
Most
that.
of
You
them
want
do.
a zip.
I'm just thinking, because I want a pretty basket to put them in. That's essentially was the core reason I want to change.
Yeah.
But
You can't fault a pretty basket.
yeah. And hey, I might go down the project not the typical standard. I don't quite know what the word is, but the more traditional project bags that a lot of people do, and they're beautiful.
I don't know how you call it traditional. This is a new way of doing things.
I know.
The standard that you see in all the floss tubes.
And I'm perfectly capable of making them, buying them, doing whatever. It was just
You're just reconsidering how you do things.
how I do it. Yeah, I'll let you know. Keep you updated.
There's been some shocking talk of was it dinosaurs?
I know. Catherine's like, oh, you're thinking of like dinosaurs and Care Bears and My Little Ponies on these. I'm like, yeah, I am.
Great.
Cool. The
Cool.
rest is
Okay.
purchases.
No, I have
You can show your beautiful masterpiece.
So I have finished. I definitely didn't show this, right?
No, you haven't.
I
Sorry if
finished.
you can hear that. My stomach is digesting.
No, I couldn't hear it.
No, you can't,
We're
okay.
blaming the dog. She's doing her slight snoring. So I finished a mini quilt,
So cute.
which I'm super thrilled about. It's in Spanish, and it was kind of it's an art piece / therapy. Because I kept thinking, so right, I'll describe what it is. So it's a quilt, so it's three layers with wadding in the middle. There's a nondescript person here, and they're asking me in Spanish, and your daughters? And this person, who's me, responds, in Europe, both of them, big exclamation marks.
Check out the on channel.
Don't you check me out? Don't you just love my
Your wild hair.
wild hair? I love it. I was so pleased with it. And what I was trying to do is I wasn't trying to do an image of me. I was trying to distill down to what is me. So what is me is my big hair with grey, and what is me is I always have a handbag. Like,
Excuse me. Isn't it amazing that that's what you feel is your core identifiers at the moment?
well, no, I was just trying to distill it down to like minimums. Like
Yeah.
nobody would look at that and think, oh, look at Victoria.
No.
Like, no, look at her hair.
No, because when I met you, you were like a #1 buzz cut.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had but before that, my hair came down to my waist.
Yeah.
So I'm just growing it long again because it's less hassle. I don't have to cut my hair every 2 weeks, and this is my retirement style.
It's gorgeous.
Taking a leaf out of Frankie from Grace and Frankie. Frankie's my alter ego. I love her. I'm sure we would be friends if she knew me. Anyway, so I was trying to distill it down, and a thing that I always seem to have is a bag. I never seem to be able to leave the house without a bag full of things. So
I'm amazed that you're saying a bag.
I know I'm a
It is
bag
never
lady.
a
It's
bag.
never a bag. I'm
Honestly,
like,
you come
I
over to my house for
dream.
filming and there's 4 bags and a pile of stuff.
And that's when we're doing a thing. Like, even when I'm not doing a thing, I dream of being elegant. I'm a bag lady. I'm like 3 bags, a shawl, a coat. It's just ridiculous. I'm not very elegant looking at all. But anyway, I love it. And then I also, because this is about the girls not being home, I also wanted to represent home. And so you'll see there's a little black rectangle because my house is black, and 1 yellow rectangle that represents the windows because they're all yellow. Yeah, but I wanted to keep it clean. I didn't want to add too much detail, like editing my idea down, so that it was just what it needed to be and no more. I love it. I am delighted. It now covers the switches for the photovoltaic system, so I'm thrilled about that.
Multi-purpose.
And I love this because, so this is a blue blouse that I bought secondhand that I loved, but didn't fit.
Green
The
or
cut
blue?
wasn't right. It was green. the cut wasn't right, and it dug into my neck, my shoulder neck area. So I undid the blouse, salvaged all the mother of pearl buttons.
Good job. I've ordered some mother of pearl buttons and they have
no,
not
you said.
arrived. I think I might have been scammed.
You can't go wrong with mustard, so mustard. And this was a gorgeous blue shirt that we bought Martin from the op shop. And it's actually a bit threadbare. It looks worse on screen than it does in person, but it's actually kind of, it's not as threadbare as it appears here, but I love that it's been well used and well loved. So that's it. I can see, and also my friend Fiona and I, who's a quilter and she watches us, we were talking about, like I find it quite inspiring to now have a friend that I can talk about quilts with. And we were talking about doing speech bubbles in quilts. And we have this friend who makes quilts. I remember, I kind of have to apologize because it's Claire. And years ago she said to me, I don't need any more quilts. Do you think I could make a mini quilt? And I said, ew, tacky. Completely put her off doing mini quilts. And I'm all for them now. Anyway, if you're a mini quilter, let me know. If you make mini quilts and you have them on Instagram, let us know. It'd be fun to see. But you can't put the @ and then your handle, because it deletes your comment if you do that. YouTube doesn't like it. So yeah, if you do have mini quilts, you would say my Instagram handle is, and just write it without the @ sign. Anyway, super happy with this.
It's gorgeous.
Very happy. I've got another project in mind that I'm going to start. So that's that. You still just got shopping?
I've just got shopping.
Okay, so can you just wait until I finish my quilt?
Do you want to pass me your shopping?
No, it's all right. Because mine's so heavy that nothing's going to make it fall. It's just going to sit on my legs. I just want to show you the quilt. I'm not going to show you too much because I've talked about it. And I'm almost finished. And I'll let them all fall. And I will, no, in fact, let them
go down here?
Fall, yeah.
Sorry, the threads just fell out.
Yeah. It suddenly occurred to me that I didn't have to carry my A3 size box of threads. I could just pick up the threads that I was using and keeping those here. Such an idiot. Anyway, I've got 7 squares to quilt, and then I'm done with the quilting. And,
amazing.
And the squares are little. All of them are quite little now. Like nothing is, they're sort of about this size now. I've just got 7 to do. About 7 to do this size. So I reckon. Oh yeah, the other thing. God, I haven't talked about this. I will do a quilt video, so you'll get to see the details in that. I am studying again.
Officially, you've signed up and paying money?
The university's paying, I just haven't had my refund yet.
Oh, you fool.
I know, and I'm hating it. Like, I'm loving the learning, but I'm hating it. I'm past doing assignments, so there's been a ridiculous amount of procrastinating. So I probably will quilt. My assignment's due on Monday. So
we shall have that quilt finished by Monday.
Yeah, we'll have it finished by Monday because assignments.
Yeah. What are you studying is possibly the most important question.
It's an important course that I do feel that I need to do just to show respect. Mm-hmm. It's called Te Ao Māori in the Information Environment. Super dry. So, boring topic alert because it's work related. So I work in information management. I'm the head of corporate records at the university. And we are kind of guided by Archives New Zealand, who has rules about what we should keep and that sort of thing. And New Zealand is a country where the indigenous people are Maori, and then the colonizers came. And unusually, they signed a treaty between the Crown and Maori. There was a treaty signed. Also, it's not as pretty as it sounds, but there was a treaty.
Out as well as intended.
But there was a treaty, which means that because of the way things have progressed, there is now a treaty court where things are decided, like, no, you can't do that because it's unfair. That's not what the treaty is about. So there's a lot of talk about being good te tiriti partners. And usually, sorry you know this, you probably do know this. When you're trying to show that you're a respectful ally to Māori, you would say that you're wanting to be a good te tiriti partner. So te tiriti means treaty. If you use the English words, it doesn't have the same connotation. So, you know, I'm working hard to be a good Te Tiriti partner to Māori. And one of the things that we have to do is manage information of value to Māori in a particular way. What that particular way is, we're not sure.
Oh.
I don't think Archives New Zealand is sure. I don't think Māori are sure. So, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure it out. And so part of me figuring out, because I'm not Māori, but I have to make certain decisions around this, is that I'm studying this paper at the Open Polytechnic to learn so that I can be a good Te Tiriti partner. Sounds great. It's only that it has assignments.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm all for the further you're learning and stuff, but assignments.
I'm just kind of past assignments. I've got a lot of letters after my names. Enough already.
You've got more craft. You've got very important crafting to do.
I do, and I keep talking to myself about, it doesn't matter if I fail. It doesn't matter. It's just about the learning. I don't need a grade. But clearly...
That's not your personality.
No. On some level, I'm like, oh my God, I've got to get a good grade. I'm doing it with one of my team members as well, so I kind of feel very exposed if I don't do well.
Yeah, you need to do better than your team member.
I don't, but I'm very stressed about it. I already completed one part of my assignment, which was writing my mihi, and that's very stressful.
That's your introduction of yourself, isn't it? And you're welcome.
Yeah, presenting yourself to a group.
You'll have to do that for us one day.
So if you live in a different place, I should have done it here. If you live in another country that has indigenous people, do you do things like that? I've never seen it, but for example, the way Māori introduce themselves is that they will say, hello, my name is this, and then they'll talk about what their mountain is, and what their river is, and what their waka is. So the waka is the canoe. Was it 5 or 7 canoes that came to New Zealand?
I don't know.
I think it's 7 canoes. So you'll talk about your people before you?
Yeah.
The people,
your ancestors.
Your genealogy. You'll be able to track back to which were your ancestors, Anyway, this is like, you're not interested, but anyway, I'm studying, so the quilt will be done.
So I didn't know anything about this. When did you start?
Maybe 3 weeks ago.
Oh, and how long did it go for?
Seen you much.
No, I know. We've been very busy.
It finishes when I'm in India. There's no way I'm going to study in India. I'm going to get it all done and wrapped up before that.
Oh, so it's a short and sharp burst of study, but.
And I am actually learning some stuff. There's lots of stuff that I already knew, because when I came to New Zealand, I wanted to be a good immigrant, so I made sure to study courses relating to Te Tiriti and things like that. But I did raranga weaving for 2.5 years at a local, not a marae, but a whare, a Māori whare, and I learned weaving, and I've shown you the kete before. So you learn a lot. So music is very important. So singing is very important. And so they're called waiata. And then you have karakia, which are prayers. And you learn a lot about the culture. So I did all that. So I knew quite a bit going in. But I'm still learning some bits and pieces. So it's all great. I'm really happy to be doing it. But I'm also deeply unhappy. Yeah. Assignments. I'm 51. That's surely not allowed. And then, because I've been whinging about it so much, like unpleasantly so, like people have been like, oh, Catherine's coming across the road. I think the universe keeps throwing my way about, oh, this mother decided at age 55 that she wanted to study and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I take my hat off to you, but I do not have that.
Do not go back and study. You did not like it last time.
For my master's.
For your MBA.
Oh, the MBA.
Yeah.
I was doing an MBA. And now I just have a half an MBA. I just did the diploma. I was like, I've lost the will.
Yeah, I didn't say half. You could have had these people thinking that you had a full MBA.
Oh, no, because I think it's really funny. Because you say, excuse me, I've got half an MBA. See, that's totally worth it to be able to say that.
Nice.
I mean, I think about it sometimes. You know, have I talked about, do I go to art school or do I not go to art school? Like, this is like one of those boring conversations that I have with myself and my artist friends.
I know within 2 weeks seeing you once, you were going to art school and that's what you were going to do, and the next time you decide, no, you're just going to do your own thing. Yeah.
I was talking to someone at work once, someone that's older than me, and we were talking about it, and she's also she wants to be more creative. She actually doesn't make time for it, whilst I do make...
You do?
Most of my free time is to be creative. And so she was like, oh gosh, I'd love to go to art school. And I was like, I don't want to be a cliche. And she said, I want to be the cliche. And then afterwards I thought, Catherine, you're such an idiot. You should be the cliche. So anyway, all that to say, please send me sympathy.
Yeah, she's
If you're having to study something because you have to be a good person, like it's important to be a good person, let me know. We can encourage each other. But also let me know if your country do a similar thing, like out of respect for the indigenous people. And yeah, interesting topics. So anyway, that is the extent of my making. And now we are on to purchases.
Into purchases. Do you want me to do all mine and you do all yours, or vice versa?
Do half and then I'll do mine and then you do your other half.
Okay.
Get comfortable. If you need a toilet break.
There's not that much. There's not that much.
Oh, okay. I was counting this.
No, there's 4 things.
Oh, she had one underneath. Have a loo break.
I was hiding. So, my pub pub cross stitch, which is the peacock, the unicorn, the badger, which you saw earlier, was done by a Scarlet Letter, who I'm loving. So, I bought a camel and a lion from Stitch Witches. Stitch Witches have recently started stocking a Scarlet Letter, and they have a whole pile.
I thought you bought the Scarlet Letter from them.
No, the Scarlet Letter was from before they opened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those flowers are mutant and amazing.
Aren't they gorgeous? Oh, just stunning.
Yeah, they're mutant and amazing.
And this one is a parrot, a leopard, a lion. I should probably take it out of the bag.
Is that a carnation? I love the carnation.
I think it's a carnation. He's just gorgeous. Oh,
see, I reckon these
love
are
it.
inspired by...
I love these weird animal.
Inspired by 18th century English needlework. Picture. Intensive. It was tapestries. That's why I keep saying this will look great as tapestries.
Yeah.
It's because they were inspired by tapestries.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And then I bought, which is this one. Oh, it's not a great photo, unfortunately.
Lydia Hart. I've heard of
Lydia
that one.
Hart. And she's very much different sort of stitches in it. It's not cross stitch. It's trellis stitch and specialty stitches. It's got a nice wee Adam and Eve, a snake, and a verse which I will change.
Will you?
Yeah.
Ah, wait to see that.
I'm not a big fan of the...
Is it religious?
What does it say? Adam and Eve predict that was that, or... Oh, fuck, I don't know. I can't read. It's a blurry photo. I can read. He's cool.
It's from Massachusetts.
Ah, Boston, Massachusetts.
I
That's
thought
too.
it would be English. Ah, interesting.
Oh, Adam and Eve in Paradise that was. Their pedigree that they had... That's pedigree.
Agreed.
But that they had agreed never to die, or would they obedient be. That does not need to be on the cross stitch. I'll put something.
Oh my God,
I'll put
I
like the theme tune from The Little Mermaid or something.
I could do one that says, I've got half an MBA. I think someone should do the actual design of the A.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is beautiful. Yeah.
What do you call those? Letter block?
Illuminated
Illuminate,
letters.
that's it. You know it's a fancy book with the first letter of each.
Yes.
Right, you can do yours and then I'll do my final one.
Okay, so I got this book because I got influenced by Heritage Stitches. Have you
It's
seen
a
her?
massive book.
She's a Ukrainian maker that lives in Italy now. She's studying to be a vet. This is full of, oh my lord, so beautiful, Ukrainian folkwear, which is hemp or linen fabric with embroidery on it. A lot of the time it is cross stitch. Oh my lord, can I just say, these are my people.
Beautiful. Is the entire text in Ukrainian?
Yeah. Look at that fantasticness. Oh, I love their necklaces. It's in Ukrainian. I'm not going to learn
The pictures
Ukrainian.
are gorgeous.
But I can translate it with my. I wonder if there's Ecosia Translate. But I just love. I'm a textile collector, but also
Beautiful.
to be inspired. They're just beautiful. This came from Ukraine. It arrived faster than the next book that I'll show you that I ordered before but was coming from Britain. It had a whole sheet of Ukrainian postage stamps. I did post it on Instagram because it was quite exciting. And, oh, look at and it's 574 pages.
It is that you're struggling to... You're not struggling, but
You have
it
to
is
do it in
awkward to-
steps. Absolutely stunning. It has quite a pungent sort of chemical smell.
It's that new book smell.
No, it's not the attractive new book smell that we like.
No, it's the full colour new book smell.
Oh, maybe what is it? But also it was wrapped in
Thanks.
plastic, like, you know, that sealed plastic. So it's still off-gassing. Oh my God, it fell open in the page.
Gorgeous.
Look at that. Just beautiful. So anyway, this will go into my collection, and it's really just an inspiration book, although I'm not giving any names away, but I may have been on Etsy looking to see if I can find an antique blouse from Ukraine.
Much joy.
Oh, too much joy.
Oh, and there's patterns in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you could go, oh my goodness, I love that blouse, and it will tell you the stitch.
Yeah.
Like the pattern of that. I'm not sure I'm going to use it for that. Like, I have no desire to.
No, but if someone did, they could.
But see, you could say, okay, I love that design. I'm going to do the design. So there is the blouse, and they're showing you the stitches. So yeah, it is a pattern book, but it also has a bit of history. It's got some photographs of people wearing the stuff. There's also, and see, it is heavy. So you can see this is a blouse, because this is the neck opening
It's
and the
beautiful.
neck slit. So yeah, I'm really happy.
Show them how thick that book is. Like, it's massive.
The funny thing about this, the funny thing is, like, I was watching that program, and before I know it, I'd ordered it. And the thing is, there is a book in Guatemala in the Ixchel Museum that I have wanted for years, but the postage is so expensive. But this was a third more. So I was like, oh, I'll just order the other one. So I'm
Oh, God,
actually
you've
in-
ordered it?
No, I'm in conversation with the museum. They're a little bit rubbish about responding, so I'm trying to be understanding, because what I don't like is that people have to respond out of work hours. So I'm hoping that the person that I'm conversing with is, you know, she's not responding because she's not working on
Yeah.
like the last 4 days. So that's that. And the other thing that arrived, which I'm thrilled about, is my Dear Jane pattern book.
It's gorgeous. I've had to flick through this one.
Yes. So, again, I'm not sure I want to make a Dear Jane, but I really was inspired by the quilt. And I really like the idea that you're just doing what a surprise. I really like the idea that you're doing your own thing. But I love this. I've also ordered Farmer's Wife, which is another pattern book from like 1920s farm wives, presumably, in America. And then I like Jen Kingwell's patterns. I really prefer books. I don't really like to buy patterns. I did borrow 2 books from another library in another part of New Zealand of Jen Kingwell's, and I didn't like either of them. Like, no, that's not true. I really liked them. I didn't like them enough to buy them. Like, there wasn't anything. They were actually very different from her solo patterns. I was like, oh, no. I'm drawn to her solo patterns, but what I'm drawn to is this idea that you just do a mishmash of things.
Hey, yeah, have you explained previously what the Dear Jane quilt is?
I think I have, but it says here, the 225 patterns from the 1863 Jane A. Stickle quilt. So this book was written by Brenda Manges Papadakis. She came across this quilt in a quilt book, fell in love, and it's kind of been her life's work to get to this point where she's created patterns for everything.
So each quilt square is different. There's no
No, there's
repetition.
I think maybe there's 2 or 3 that are repeated, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's 225 blocks, which is unbelievable. So this is the 25-year anniversary book. So when it started, it was quite a different book. It's very cute.
It's
Every few
beautiful.
blocks, she writes a letter to Jane, and so the writer Brenda, she writes to her like a pen pal. It's very cool.
Photos of people who've reproduced the quilt in their own colour styles and
Yeah. And
Or in colourways,
And
I should
people
say.
that make a Dear Jane quilt are called Janiacs, apparently. And this quilt, this is the original. It is in a museum in Pennsylvania, I think. So this is the original. So the reproductions are called Dear Jane or Baby Janes. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. So lots of people have made these. I've really not seen, maybe I've seen one person on YouTube that has done it by hand. The blocks are tiny. I don't understand why you would make your life harder by machine sewing them. Way easier to sew little things by hand. But you know, each to their own.
Is that to scale?
I'm not sure. I think so.
Must
yeah.
be. So the blocks are sort of that,
They're
aren't they?
4.5 inches. And some of them have, like, look how many pieces this block has to get to 4.5 inches. Some of those bits are tiny. So I don't understand why you would make your life harder by doing it by machine. I think it's because people think it's going to be easier by machine. Faster.
Not with those tiny pieces.
Yeah. And so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, but I am very inspired by this. I wanted to have it. I'm really glad I got it. I think even if I don't make the quilt, it's very inspiring book.
It's a beautiful book.
I need another quilt like I need to finish my MBA. Look at this. Like, it looks quite different with the different colorways that people choose. This is where I got to. That's why I'm saving it with the orange.
Beautiful book, Mark.
Yeah. So I know a couple of people have mentioned doing it, and I was just replying to comments this evening, and somebody else was saying, "I've got the book. I'll fish it out." So, and now they've done all sorts of things that you can buy, which I won't, but you can buy, like, if you can do an EPP, so English paper piecing. There's also an electronic system that you can use that they've patented to do it. So lots of different ways for people to have fun with this.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. So
I'm very tempted to get a copy of that.
really,
Yeah, I think it's lovely.
well, I think you need to start a quilt. So
Oh, tomorrow.
tomorrow, in fact.
Yeah, tomorrow, in fact. So starting the quilt for my brother and his partner who are having a baby.
Yay! I think that quilt's gonna look stunning when
It's
you're
going to
done.
be gorgeous. Ah,
And she's gonna post it on Instagram because you become a grown up that posts on Instagram.
I
again.
posted on Instagram after you and Amy bullied me into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my last purchase is, it's a bit of a joke. Not a joke. It's a funny story. more
Is
than
Victoria
anything.
being Victoria?
Yeah. So last time I was at Stitch Witches for our Twisted Stitches Stitch Along, which is we just get together and stitch. A friend bought the latest Inspiration magazine, and she was kind enough to let me flick through it. And the very first article they put in it,
Oh, I've just seen something interesting.
telling you these books are good, is the Taking Flight. So unfortunately this isn't a kit that comes, like, not a kit, this is an article on this artist, but I love
Is this
these.
Winkle or Winkle?
I don't know.
No, this is someone called Leslie. Because there is someone I follow on Instagram, something Winkle or Winkle, and her birds are amazing.
They're just
But they look like hers. Sorry,
They're
now I'm going to
stunning.
be distracted.
Anyway, so major FOMO, I bought the magazine, but with me and my personality, unfortunately, when you buy issue 119 of something, you then need to go and get the other 118. So I've got a good start. I've got about 24 of them at the moment in less than 2 weeks. Oh, that's good. It's great. No, because there was a company in Christchurch that was closing down, and so they had a lot of their a lot of their stock at like half price. So I just bought a great big whack. But
How much is the postage?
I don't want to tell you how much I spent.
okay. No, I can figure it out.
20 magazines. And
Yeah.
Oh no, postage was like $15. So I actually thought that was fine because it was a
Yeah,
heavy
yeah.
parcel. But you know, if I'm sure most of you are familiar with that, there are with this magazine, I should say.
No, but I saw something after. That's the one that caught my eye, which made me think of your sister.
Yeah. A couple of articles at the front on different artists who are amazing.
I mean, I don't really like that anatomical stuff. It's a bit yuck. But
And
but
then,
the skill
you know,
is
each to their
impressive.
own.
Is this skill that you're kind of
Yeah.
interested in?
Artist is that
What does that say?
embroidery art.
Mapula, embroidery. Trust. Ooh, that looks South African.
I know, I was saying, that's what I was trying to justify it and saying, they do lots of really interesting.
I know, she's so cute. She was like, oh,
I haven't read them and I won't because I'm all about the pictures.
It's not just patterns, guys. They've got really nice essays and interesting articles. I'm thinking, yeah, you're just justifying it to me. I'm not sure why.
I know.
But obviously I have a...
Because you make me feel so threatened that I need to
Yeah,
justify.
that's right. You're like quaking in your boots. Oh, what's Catherine going to say?
As most of you know, in each of these magazines there are half a dozen patterns, and the patterns are all included in the back. So you can make them at home.
So I hope you're not just going to run off, because I do want to look through this one before you go.
You're going to want to look through a lot of them. I was very impressed with the ones I've received. I want to make this. I think that is gorgeous. Look at the bugs on it. There's butterflies and...
Lots of things are beautiful. I just don't necessarily want to make all the beautiful things.
This is where we differ.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about your bookcase situation though. 24 of them.
Look at this one. Have we got...
Don't you have that one in one of your books?
It's beautiful. No, I've got something similar. How beautiful is that? And...
I mean, although it's a magazine, it really is like a book.
Oh, it is.
Sort of
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
It's for what is it, $20-something?
And also you're happy. Whatever. Yeah.
And look on the back, they have one of the just Nan mice, and I've got that mice, but I don't have anything else in that photo. So obviously I
Yet.
need to collect them all.
Show me them. Ow.
Sorry.
No, that was me. Oh, that was.
Anyway, so now I'm on the hunt for the other magazines.
You're on
but
the
it's
hunt
great.
for-
I've got a list, and I can tick the ones I like.
You're on the
and,
hunt
you
for
know.
a better paid job. That's what you are. Story cloths.
Yeah. So I'm saying it's a good magazine. I haven't read it, but I looked at the pictures.
You know what my boss said to me today? So this boss that visited, she was like, I should just give you all these things that I've bought when I've been on holiday and I'm just not going to display in my house.
Oh, that's both great, but also you have a tiny house.
No, but these were like, she's got pillowcases from different countries, like traditional ones.
Oh yeah, you'll want those.
Yeah, and I was just like, no, I said to her, oh, I'm happy to come to your house and help you style if you want to display them.
That's kind.
I know. It just made me think of that because of this. I think these magazines are beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're happy, and you have your own job, whatever. You know, you do you.
She wonders why I feel threatened. No. I'm super happy.
I just can't do ongoing spendy like that.
Well, it's
I'm going to India.
quarterly.
Like,
There's
I've
4
nothing to
magazines
say.
a year, if I know what quarterly means.
Yes, it's 4 magazines a year.
Yeah, I was pretty confident I knew what it meant.
When I was at work, and you know, bearing in mind that I was at home for 12 years, looking at financial documents, and it said Q1. I was like, what's Q1? That was Q1.
But I'm super keen to start doing some of these stump work flowers that they do over wire. I cannot.
Sure. You've done stump work now, haven't you? So you could do it.
I've done a little bit of stuff on the wire. I haven't finished it, but that bee that I did on the Fiona Crowler acre.
Oh, and thank you for all your responses saying that Victoria should become a tutor. That was grand.
Yeah, let's move on. Look at this one.
Fiori. Now we're just looking at magazines.
I know, isn't this thrilling for you? Anyway, so that is me, and that is my shopping. What are your plans for the next? You can look at this when we've gone.
I am going to work on my 2 things. I'm also going to continue. I didn't show you today, but I've cut all the pieces for my postage stamp quilt.
Excellent.
And I'm not going to start quilting, like sewing the pieces until they're all cut out. So they're not counting as whips yet.
Excellent.
That's my rule. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and do my assignment so that I can relax for the next wee while. Oh, also, I haven't even told you this either.
Oh, you're holding out on me.
No, it just says you 24 magazines.
I
My
don't
orange jumper I've unraveled
Why?
because I've realised I don't need another jumper.
But it was beautiful.
Yeah, that's okay. So I've unraveled it. I'm going to make a blanket for the sofa.
That is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of a blanket over the back of the sofa.
Yes, over the back of the sofa, bright orange. I'm not into quilts on sofas. Quilts for beds for me. So I would never like snuggle up here with a quilt, but totally have a blanket.
What stitch?
It's going to be an Aran blanket.
Beautiful.
That's where Martin failed because he was supposed to get me 15 balls and he didn't.
Ah.
But that's okay. The man doesn't know enough about knitting because, you know.
Was that from
This is not football.
From a wool shop or from Spotlight?
Not from a wool shop. So I sent him to Felt Princess, and second choice was Networld because Felt Princess is locally owned. Networld is New Zealand owned, but they live in Auckland. I'd rather support the community here, but anyway. There was a slight misunderstanding. So I need 15 balls, but it's already different lots, so it didn't matter. But he thought he shouldn't buy 7 balls because I needed 15, and really it doesn't matter. And nobody cares if you can see the change of colour because
People
that's
just think
more
it's shadow.
interesting.
Yeah.
Whatever. But anyway, so I'm going to do that. I'm excited about that because now because I finished the shawl for my friend, and that was a lot of knitting. But once I get going with the cables, it'll be easy knitting. And it's going to be
Beautiful.
sitting here knitting as well, so I'm excited about that.
I can't wait to see it.
What about you? What are your plans?
I want to get Die Fisher out. I was cross-stitching before and thinking, I really need to get a different stitch project going because Home Sweet Home, I haven't done anything more on that, but I finished the stitching part of it, or the majority of the stitching part. And I thought, you've got your Die Fisher, who you were waiting until you'd finished the stitching on Home Sweet Home before you got that out again. So I'm going to get Die Fisher out.
That's the one that's still on the frame, isn't
Yes,
it?
that's the big one. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's gorgeous and she needs to be finished.
Yes. Yeah, because you've got a method now, haven't you? You have to finish one thing before you can buy another one of the same.
Well, I pretend. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We're not talking cross-stitch patterns. We're talking about the big
big ones.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're going to...
I have to finish Home Sweet Home before I can buy another 3D. I've got some Jenny Aid and Christie ones that I'd quite like to get.
Which is what?
That's the owl that you are not a huge fan of. But most people have seen this. I love that owl. It's a weird twee. The head comes off, which is my favourite part.
Victoria and I have really dissimilar taste. We don't see eye to eye as far as...
But that's fine.
But that's fine, because it would be very unattractive. I mean, actually, that's not true, because I do pass you things that you want to stitch.
I know.
But it's good to have variety. It would be very boring if we stitched
be.
exactly the same.
It would be.
So, yeah, we're all happy with that. Cool.
So that's us. We hope you guys have a great week and a half, because we should be back on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Going well.
I'm just laughing because I can see your little pony, and she's ordered another one.
I did a Care Bear one. So I used to have the blue Care Bear with the moon and the star on his tummy, so I ordered that one. I'm a grown up.
Cool. All right. We hope you have lots of stitching to keep you happy.
Yeah.
And have a lovely fortnight. Answer our questions if they relate to you.
Do we remember what they were?
What
are you studying? Or
are you studying? What are you procrastinating?
Yeah.
And if you live in a country with Indigenous people,
Oh yeah. How do you?
What do you do? Do you
Do you have
anything
good
like
relationships? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that was a bad question. Yeah.
All
Ignore
right.
me. I don't know. I didn't ask questions.
Ka
Have a
kite.
great. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Ka kite.